Shalom. This week's Bisselle Torah comes to you through the Parsha Bo, the name of the Torah reading this week, as we near the end of the story of the enslavement of the Jewish people under the relentless and mighty hand of Pharaoh and the Egyptian taskmasters. Finally, they are about to be redeemed. Yet before this is to occur, in chapter 12 of the book of Exodus, God says to the Israelite nation, he says to each person as well as the nation as a whole, Ulekachtem agudat izov. I want you to take a bunch of hyssop, then dip it in blood and put it on the Mezzuza of your door. Let's start with the end part of that. What is the Mezzuza of your door? Nowadays, every Jewish person has a Mezzuza on the door as a sign not only that they are Jewish, because that's the minimalist part of it, but using it to its maximum import, we put a mezuzah on a door to show that this is a place where God is invited, God is welcome, God is a part of my life. And the mezuzah consists of a case, which is nothing more than precisely that, it's a case, but inside is the mezuzah. And the mezuzah is a parchment that contains the word of God. It contains the Shema and other passages that indicate that whenever we go into our home, we acknowledge that God is coming with us into our home. But the mezuzah that's referred in this week's Torah reading is not that mezuzah, but rather it was simply the doorpost of the home of the Jewish people enslaved in Egypt. So what the Jews were told to do is to take a bunch of hyssop, dip it in blood, and paint it on the doorposts of their home. Why, asked the Midrash, were they asked to take hyssop? Why specifically hyssop? And the answer, because hyssop was about the lowliest plant that you could possibly get, like a weed that grows out of the cracks of the ground. Nobody plants hyssop. Nobody harvests hyssop. But they took hyssop out of the ground simply because it was the lowliest and the most available thing to grab. Emblematic of us, that we are lowly, not only in a state of slavery, but as individuals, we are less than we would be and will become when we put ourselves in the context of a community. You are not who you are with all of your education, your degrees, your learning, your acumen, your ability to be able to solve puzzles, solve problems, put things together. You're only you with all of those attributes because people took your hand and walked you to that place. Your teachers, your parents, your siblings, maybe your children. All of those people, some of them whom you looked to for guidance and some who were looking simply to guide you. We don't get to the place of wholeness by ourselves. We only get to the place of wholeness because we are with others in our community. So the lesson of this is profound and yet very simplistic. Profound because only together do we achieve our ability of maximizing who we truly are meant to be. And minimalist and simplistic because we are by ourselves only less than what we could possibly ever imagine ourselves to be. We can't become more until we invest ourselves into the larger breadth of a community. Alone, we're lowly, we're limited, we are insufficient. Together, when we join and clasp hands and we learn and teach one another, when we correct ourselves, when others correct us, when we correct them, then truly we achieve the height of the potential of what we can be. So thus, the Midrash teaches us that the hyssop is the Jew. The hyssop is you. The hyssop is me. When we bind together, we become stronger and more capable than we could ever achieve what we could ever achieve by ourselves. Shabbat Shalom.